The art and visual design of Marvel Snap is really second to none and is easily one of my favorite things about the game. There are hundreds of jaw-dropping card variants in Snap, ranging from pixel to babies to realistic and so much more. Hi, my name is Cozy and I have a variant addiction. Now, never mind just being a content creator. As a huge fan of both art and Marvel Snap, I knew I needed a variant of all the cards I played the most. And while my quest to obtain these are far from finished, I wanted to share with you guys today my top 25 favorite variants that I own. And if I'm being honest, picking 25 was way harder than I thought. Like, this prep took me way too long to narrow down only 25. I could probably pick 50. So with it being Christmas Eve and the holiday season, I wanted to find a fun way to give back to you guys for all the support you've given me. Again, 40,000 subs is absolutely ridiculous and really giving me a chance to do this full time. And I thought a fun thing we could do is give away 5 700 gold packs for you guys to buy your own variants, or, you know, whatever you want to buy with it, to any subscriber and supporter down below. All you got to do is comment the best variant that you currently own, and I'll randomly pick 5 of you guys on Christmas Day. And yeah, thanks so much. All right, so let's kick this list off. I've got my top 25 favorite. They're not ranked in any specific order, and I try to look at a combination of both art style and animation. Sometimes the art is just so cool that I didn't give a damn about the animation. But I thought this first card was a perfect example of a gold standard that the animation should be in Marvel Snap. We've got this Captain America variant that had to make the list. You've got that old-time feeling to a classic iconic hero with kind of the grainy film there, and I love it. I think it's a very unique approach because we're all like this usually when you're looking at an animated upgrade. Overall, great way to start out the list. I mean, I have art styles I like more than this, but the animation alone, top 25. So next up, I've got this Max Grek Mr. Fantastic. I played Mr. Fantastic a decent amount, so that's just an added bonus. But I love everything about this card. The art style is super unique. I don't really see other variants like this. The animation of the arm is awesome. The depth of field is done really well. You've got like the arm and the leg in the background. And there's some other very fantastic, no pun intended, Mr. Fantastic variants out there. Like Art Germ, you're going to see some other from them. And by far my favorite artist in the game for the realistic approach. I haven't upgraded it yet. I just unlocked this bad boy. But there's something about the way this card is. It always feels so good to play it. I just love the card. Moving on, we've got this killer Ebony Maw, and I think this one is incredible. I love the art style, the guns pointing at him, the way the animation is kind of softly between his hands, the color scheme of the logo kind of going with the card and the color of his eyes. He looks absolutely menacing in this photo as well. So hats off to this. Now, a lot of the variants today, they don't have the artist who made them. Currently, that's not in the game. I know they're adding that for all of the variants. And when they do that, I'll try my best to put a pinned comment down below to give proper credit. But hats off whoever made this. Love the image overall and definitely worthy of the top 25. Next up is Dan Hipp, and Dan Hipp is popular in the Marvel Snap community as one of the more beloved artists of the game. And this is probably my favorite Dan Hipp that I have. I've got a lot of them. Apocalypse is great. There's a few others out there. But I think the animation in particular on this Lockjaw is just jaw-dropping. Again, I'm just terrible with the puns today. The way the tongue's animated is awesome. You've got the 3D rocks to it as well. Like, I've got the Venomized Lockjaw, and I still think this one is the one I prefer to play with. Again, I do have a lot of these split. I'm going to do that on another video. I think that's its own kind of video because I want you guys to see the base art all together. But definitely, Dan Hipp, you knocked it out of the park with this one. So now I've got a Chibi variant, and I think this is the only one that I had make the list. Although I really do like Chibis. I have a couple like Red Skull that I enjoy a lot that you guys have probably seen from my videos. But this one just knocks it out of the park. I think it's far above the rest. The animation of the fire is fantastic. Her eyes are just like soul beaming. Match that up with the logo. Art style is well done. Animation is subtle, but I think it's done really well. Easily my favorite Chibi variant, and I've got this one split a couple of times. Now, speaking of soul gazing, my gosh, this is probably a top 3. Like, I know I'm not ranking these in order, but I would put this in the top 3. Hands down. I think the base card is already a very beautiful art style that I like a lot, and I've split it a few times. But this Valkyrie is just beautiful. I mean, those eyes are just staring right into the body of my soul. I think the realistic approach to it is done incredibly well, and just the overall art The animation, there's not a lot of it, but I don't think it needs it. And I've got to say, after doing this video, I'm seeing a lot of like tie-in with the colors on the art and the logos, which I don't know if that was done on purpose, but it does kind of tie together very well and definitely one of my favorites. Next up is Polaris, and we've got a Pestilence version of her, and I think this is an awesome variant, hands down. Now, I'm going to run out of adjectives to describe the way I feel about these cards. You're going to hear the same words used. Sorry about it, but I think just the way they've done the animation here, first of all, the depth of field kind of behind her is really well done for that fire kind of rising up. It's so drastically different than the base card itself, which is one of the reasons I just love it. I think the 3D rocks popping out her name in the logo is very small, so it allows tons of room for the art itself. It was one of the first variants I ever got for a Pull 3 card, and I believe I got it not from purchasing it. I think I just grabbed it somewhere like in the season pass. Love it. Definitely a high contender, top of my list here. And honestly, it makes me use the card a lot more. I mean, she's already a good card, but this helps. Next up is the king of the badass cards right here, and one that was such an easy, like, no-brainer decision. We've got this Destroyer variant that is screaming amazing. The animation, obviously, is super well done. Destroyer as a base card is just a cool-looking card, but this one just, it takes the cake. I don't play a ton of Destroyer decks. I'm starting to play them more, and you guys will see a video coming out soon now that I got Century, but man, this is just a really well-done card. The logo, the design, definitely a top contender on my list, and one that I love to kind of show off and play. All right, so let's just move on to another badass variant. We've got this Mr. Negative card that I think is fantastic, but this one was just too good to leave out. Not a lot of animation, but I would say the kind of rips in space or time, or whatever's behind him, is subtle, but it adds to the card. And the glow of the eyes and just the entire presence of this Mr. Negative card through and through, one of my favorites, most used in the game when I do play the deck. I will say he's got some other great variants, like this kind of black and white version is pretty incredible too, and there's definitely other ones out there, but I had to put the main demon form on the list. All right, so now we've got Ironheart and this insanely cool variant. I think this is like the gold standard of depth of field. Love the way Ironheart's kind of like popping out, the clouds being animated behind her. Like, it truly feels like I don't know, like it's in a movie. It just looks really well done. And compared to the other Ironheart variants, definitely the top of my favorites. The glow on the hand, the glow on the chest, the glow of the eyes. The card logo is super fresh. Just love the card. I mean, do I even need to say anything about this one? Guys, truly, I mean, just the definition of a sexy card, the animation of the rainbow kind of like oozing from the ground, the whip popping out of the screen, the way the logo works, the hair, the new infinity border ties in with the background. This is the definition of an S-tier card as far as variants go. And I've got a lot of Angela variants split multiple times, but I had to select this one. It's a no-brainer. Definitely one that made me regret splitting my other ones, and I'm starting to invest in it. Love Angela, obviously, as a card, one of the best values in the game, and this is one of the best variants in the game. I couldn't leave my man Deadpool off. This was a day one favorite of mine. This is so true to the character, and when I saw this card, when I started playing, it's kind of what just had me hooked. I was like, all right, they are being as true to the characters as you could be. You've got Deadpool rodeoing on a mean cat. I mean, what more could you ask for in Marvel Snap as far as variants go? Definitely one that I'm splitting a ton, hoping I get a gold split. I don't yet of this variant. And now that Deadpool's getting better and better as new Destroy cards come out, this is going to be one that's going to be a staple in all of my Destroy decks. Now, opposed to a lot of people, I'm actually somewhat of a fan of the baby variants. I don't love them all. I don't buy them all, but I think there's some great gems out there. Like Professor X is fantastic. This Storm is probably my favorite. I had a hard time picking between this and a baby Nightcrawler. I gave this one the edge because of the animation style, and I tried to pick some different versions of these variants. But I like it a lot. I do have one thing I'd like to see, and this doesn't really go with Storm here, but I want to see these variants bring in different detail to maybe not the locations, right? But Mysterio, Bucky Barnes, I hope the cards that are played from cards do get some type of, variant additions to them as well. But yeah, you've got kind of cool popping out thunder that's well done animated. The classic Storm Mohawk is also animated. Definitely top tier as far as the baby contenders go. She was up against this guy, and I mean, come on. Look how damn cute this card is, guys. Definitely one that I wanted to put on the list and is up there in the baby variants as well. Now, this one is a sleeper. This is a Ryan Gonzalez Gambit variant, and I'll be honest, anything done by this artist, I'll probably buy. I think it's just a cool art style, and there's a lot of subtleness to this card. The glow around Gambit goes in and out, which I think is kind of incredibly done. The animation on the fire, the way the art style is different than any other one that I've seen in the game. I like the little cats there in the background on the dumpster and over there on the right side. Just a cool card. Moving on, we've got another cool variant on this list. It's this Magneto that I think the art is just incredible. The lightning coming out of his eyes and his hands, and the background is the only thing kind of lacking just a bit. But definitely just one of my favorite cool factor cards in the game. I've split it now like 7 times, and I still have not landed the right variant of Ink of Fire or Gold. Now, Magneto already has an incredible base card, but I don't know. This one's got to be on the list. It's too cool. Now, look, I know everybody hates pixel variants out there. Okay, it's not cool to like pixels, but I think they've done some of them pretty damn well. Some are terrible. Like, let's get that straight, all right? But this Cable, I think, is just done, perfectly. I love the way that the colors match the logo of the card. The animations, I think, is what sets this pixel apart for Cable. I've got other insanely just different, unique-looking variants of Cable, but I think this one is just one that I love because it's one of the few pixels that are really worth its weight as far as a variant goes. I think anything that kind of reminds me of the old school arcade days is what gets me all excited. Like Wolverine, I think Iron Man's has done pretty well. But I think with the animation department is what they could clean up with the pixel cards. But I just had to put my favorite one on the list. All right, we've got another banger, a top 3, and guess who? Max Grech. As an artist, man, you're amazing, and I love the way you do your art style. Because SpiderMan's got some awesome-looking variants, but this is a top 3 for me. Love the animations of kind of the smoke behind the buildings, the webs, and then just the 3D approach of the card. I will say the only thing that's a bit weird is that if you kind of tilt him, the web doesn't look like it's connected to his hand there. But other than that, I think the card's done extremely well. And that version is in competition with this one, and this is awesome too. It's hard to kind of pick my favorite Spider-Man. Even his pixel variant is done well, in my opinion. Like, this is straight out of freaking Super Nintendo. All in all these Spider-Man variants are just top of class, in my opinion, but that Max Grech one, easily the best. Do I even need to say anything? I mean, Art Germ, I hope I'm saying your name right. If you somehow come across and stumble on this video, I will buy portraits of your Marvel art. They are so well done, so incredible, and this is just top of class for me, and definitely one of my favorites as well. The animation, the way and the realism behind it, there's a lot of great Arrow variants out there, and I know which one I'm going to use and upgrade. It's the one you just saw, but I had to go with the Art Germ variant. It's my favorite card in the game, and altogether, 10 out of freaking 10. I mean, come on. All right, I'm cooled off. Okay, let's talk about this Taskmaster. This is a beauty. The cape animation, the smoke, the jumping off towards you on the screen, the muscles. I use Taskmaster a lot and is definitely one that I'm trying to get gold as well. This is just kind of simple. Like, even this depth of field, well done. Look, guys, I told you, I love Art Germ, and this is another just card from that artist. We've got a White Queen with this blue energy, and I'm never going to need to buy another White Queen card in this game. Just a great kind of sexy Elsa, if you will, card that is just incredible through and through. Love the art style. Realism doesn't do it for everybody, but for me, you guys can tell I'm obviously a big fan of the way that it's done. All right, so talk about new variants. I got this one legit today, and I wish I had it more upgraded for y'all. The Sports Miles Morales Spider-Man is so epic, so sweet. I'm a big sports guy, if you guys can't tell, but Miles Morales, I don't have the shiny logo. Such a cool card. Love kind of the background animation, the hoop, the way that it kind of pops out on the screen. If there's more sports variants, I'm definitely going to get them. I've got like Luke Cage and a few others. I think Multiple Man. Just a lot of style to this variant. You even got the little Easter egg of like the hoop sticker. It has Miles Morales and then the Marvel up there as well. Killer. Next we have, oh wait, we already did this one. I just wanted to look at it again. All right, so I think you guys are finding a bit of a pattern here. This one is just going to make the list strictly because of the art. This is not an art germ variant, but it has that realistic approach of rescue. The light animation's good. It could have more animation altogether, and I like the card a lot. Woo! This is just so sweet. I mean, talk about just a cool looking card. The art alone, you've got the animation of the chalice steam coming from him. Dracula has some cool variants in this game, but this has got to be one of my favorites on the list. He's got small amounts of glow to his sword, the skulls, his body, his eyes. Just a cool card, and especially Dracula being so good is one that I get to use a lot and is an easy contender of like the more top end of this list. Honestly, I've lost count if we've done 25 or not, but I think we're near the end. This could be the last one. We've got a death variant here, and I have multiple death variants. I think 4. I'll show them. But this is just so perfectly well done, in my opinion, as well. I think Iceman has a similar kind of background, but the way these kind of sparkles work, I don't know. I think it just animates well into the game. The subtle animation of just the movement of the fog of the skull and the glowing eyes just kind of is an eerie feeling. Death has a lot of great cards. That was probably my favorite one. The Pixel one doesn't do it for a lot of people. I don't think you would know that is Death. But the Chibi is another well-done variant that I've upgraded a few times. And then most recently, I just unlocked the one that could put the fear of God in children. I'm telling you, that was so much harder than I thought making that list. There's so many more that I left out, but I just wanted to include the honest opinions. And that's why I love art. It's opinionated, right? So I'm going to like things that you guys don't like and vice versa. Which is the best part of the variant system. Now, I want to do a video if this one gets enough kind of feedback and you guys do enjoy this video. Let me know by liking it down below. And if I see enough feedback, I'll go ahead and make one based on the variants I want the most. And we'll go through some of the coolest variants out there. Now, a lot of those are going to be those mythic variants, but definitely have my eyes on some great ones like Gamora's. And again, comment down below your favorite variant that you currently have. I'll pick 5 of you subscribers for the giveaway. Wishing you a huge, happy, and safe holiday to you all. Thank you guys again for all of the great support and just creating this community. Until the next one, happy snapping.